All right, welcome back. Aloha, Tulsi Kratz, Bernie Kratz, and nobody Kratz. I am Dave, and I don't mean you're a nobody, but I mean you're not beholden to any political party or presidential candidate. I am a Tulsi supporter, unapologetic in my belief that Tulsi Gabbard would be a great commander-in-chief. One of the things about Tulsi Gabbard that I think may be an intangible is her personality, her sincerity, her warmth, but also her ability to tell it like it is. Something that is very much missing. I know a lot of people think Trump does this. He tells it like it is. But backtrack a little bit. Tulsi Gabbard, not only does she tell it like it is, but she does it with class and dignity and without being offensive. And I think that's important because we need a better political discourse. Here she is on Jimmy Dore's show. Jimmy Dore is actually a little bit speechless. He plays this clip of Tulsi from a podcast, and not sure about the podcast. I could do a little bit of research. It's called Outkick with Clay Travis. But in any event, he cues up a question here, and Tulsi excoriates. I mean, absolutely decimates Kamala Harris. And then she goes on to explain a much larger problem. I want you to listen to this because this is brilliant. It's just Tulsi Gabbard at her absolute best. This should give you a good reason to donate to her campaign if you haven't done so yet.
One of the biggest storylines that came out of the first debate was Senator Harris's attack on Joe Biden surrounding busing. You're around my age. I'm 40 years old. You are 38 years old, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Those are really kind of ancient debates for people who are around our age and younger. Did that seem like a fair discussion to you? And it obviously took up almost all of the oxygen that came out of the first two nights of the debate.
No, it didn't. But, I think I'll leave that battle to Biden and Harris. I think one of the things that I'm most concerned with is Kamala Harris is not qualified to serve as commander-in-chief, and I can say this from a personal perspective as a soldier. She's got no background or experience in foreign policy.
And Jimmy Dore, the perfect expression for what he just heard. Look, Kamala Harris is, I think she embodies the resistance movement's candidate. She's not Trump. She checks all the boxes that they want to be checked. True progressives, I think, are a little put off by her because, they call her the cop and so forth, and they don't like this law and order mentality that she has. And I just think she's a lousy presidential candidate. Her launch, when she launched her campaign, she had the most generic and ridiculous video with these words that were just popping up like, courage or something, and then some really goofy music from some guy playing a keyboard from the 1980s or something. It was just really poorly produced and sounded like somebody who's running for selectman maybe in, your local town. Let's continue with Tulsi because she's on a roll here, and it's just fantastic.
And she lacks the temperament that is necessary for a commander-in-chief. I've seen the cost of war firsthand. I've experienced the consequences of what happens when we have presidents, as we have, from both political parties in the White House who lack experience, who lack that foreign policy understanding, who therefore fall under the influence of the foreign policy establishment, the military-industrial complex. This is what's so dangerous. This is what we've seen occurring over time. If you look at the wasteful regime change wars that have been waged in countries like Iraq, Libya, Syria. There are so many different examples. These are wasteful wars that have strengthened terrorist groups like ISIS and Al-Qaeda, therefore making the American people less safe.
Okay, one of the things she's doing here is saying if you vote for this woman, Kamala Harris, you're going to get more of the same foreign policy. And the establishment wants more of the same foreign policy. You need to consider this because here we go again. Hillary Clinton 2.0 could be worse than Trump.
They have cost us dearly in American lives, our service members who have paid the ultimate price and those who have come home with both visible and invisible wounds. And they've caused such devastation and destruction in the countries where we've waged these wars. This is why, what to speak of the trillions of dollars that are coming out of our pockets to pay for these wars, dollars that should be used and redirected towards taking care of the needs of our people right here at home in our communities. And this is personal to me, as it is to so many of those who I served with, and it's why I am running for president, because I know that I'll be ready with the experience that I have, serving as a soldier over 16 years, deploying twice to the Middle East, of working in Congress for almost 7 years now on the Foreign Affairs, the Armed Services, and Homeland Security committees.
Okay, one thing that Tulsi Gabbard has been doing lately a lot is she's been showcasing and highlighting her resume, which none of the other candidates can really do the way she does. They don't have the resume that Tulsi Gabbard has. She has been, I don't want to say groomed for this, because nobody's groomed her. She's groomed herself to be in this position. She's argued on behalf of her constituents. She's served the country. And by the way, she is the best progressive candidate I've ever seen because she wants progressive policies, but she's not a lunatic. She's not like off her rocker, and this is, to me, something that's new and different and made me interested in progressive politics. Otherwise, I would have just sat there and said, well, they don't have any really good ideas. But when you listen to Tulsi Gabbard, you actually hear those ideas.
Prepared on day one to walk into the Oval Office and fulfill that most important responsibility the president has, which is to serve as commander-in-chief.
Oh, that's all I...
So Jimmy Dore's response there is boom. And yeah, I just wanted people to hear this, and I didn't want to talk too much more about it, but she's clearly kind of picked a bit of a fight with Kamala, and I don't know if you want to call it a fight, but the reason she's going after Kamala Harris is I think she sees Kamala Harris as this natural ascendancy to the throne again that we saw with Hillary Clinton, the same policies, the same ideas, stoking racism and using that as leverage and just talking about those issues. I think it's a disaster, and I think it would be bad for the country if she were elected president. Again, she would have an endless line of credit to go and run around the world and do regime change war and do the same things we've been doing. This is the danger of a Biden presidency, a Harris presidency, a Buttigieg presidency. All of these guys and gals, I'm sorry, just saying guys generically here, all of them have a blank check when it comes to endless war. And Tulsi Gabbard, and to a lesser extent Bernie Sanders, are the only ones that are willing to say, no more blank checks. I'm here, the sheriff is in town, and we're pulling the reins back on this. So, amazing clip here, and it shows you why I love Tulsi. And yeah, she's ramping this up before the next debate, and it could get very interesting. I'm not sure if they're both in that same debate this time. They weren't last time, but I'll have to check to see the lineups. This could get really interesting, but not from the entertainment standpoint, although it will be entertaining to see Tulsi Gabbard taking on Kamala Harris. It'll be more informational and more contrasting, seeing the differences between these two candidates. So, awesome job, Tulsi Gabbard. And again, if you can support my channel, please do. I will put something in the description for my PayPal if you'd like to donate a few bucks. Viewership's down, obviously, since I switched, and so are subscribers. I am hemorrhaging subscribers, so again, I'm sorry. I know I disappointed a lot of hardcore progressives by doing what I did with this channel, but I did it because I wanted to be true to myself, and I can move forward now and be a little bit more, I guess, open and honest about what I'm all about. So, done with this video. Again, you can watch this Jimmy Dore clip. I'd urge you to do that because Jimmy, he's always good, and he's very interesting, and he's entertaining at the same time. All right. See you soon, everybody.
I could say, that was something. She just said it right out there. She's not qualified to be commander-in-chief. She has no foreign policy experience. She has a, bam. She's not.